All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Going Senior Coach and Beyond. My name is Jeremy Pratt. I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and I'm stoked to be doing this with Dr. J.C. Dornick, Integrated Presidential, this evening. So last week we left off, and one of the things we were going to do to lead off tonight was to tell our 40-second elevator story. Now, did everyone practice it? Is anyone brave enough to take the step forward? Remember, it was optional. You didn't have to do it. We're in a closed family network here. No one's going to judge. If anyone wants to throw their hat in the ring, it's got to be one of you. You were all so gung-ho last week.
I think Bernice would do it.
I know, and she's got that look like, yeah.
I spoke to Bernice for like 40 minutes today, and she's full of knowledge. Come on, Bernice.
She could throw it down. What do you think, Bernice?
You're muted, sweetie.
You're muted right now, so. Here, I'll unmute you. You're good.
All right, so 40 seconds.
Yeah, 40, 60 seconds.
Well, JC, you know I can't talk for just a minute and be quiet.
Bernice,
that's why we're practicing.
Bernice can not only do this, but she can do it speaking and in sign language if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just for everybody's knowledge, her husband is deaf, so Bernice actually explains all of this. This is not sign language.
That's amazing.
But Bernice actually had a healthy happy hour and started to recite the script of the 6-minute video to some of the people that came. So
that's sick.
So let's hear it, Bernice. 40 seconds. If somebody's in an elevator, you can't fail at this. How would you explain what it is that you do?
Like if they asked about it?
Yeah, or they just said, hey, Bernice, nice to meet you. My name's Tom. I'm an electrician. What are you doing in this elevator? What do you do?
What am I doing in the elevator? I'm going up or down? Okay. Well, my mind is blank. I started on this wonderful program and have lost 55 pounds so far, and was really afraid at the beginning that it was one of those things where I was going to lose weight and then gain it back, and have learned through this healthy habits that help me to keep it off, and now I'm paying it forward and sharing this gift with other people, and anybody that wants to help wants help, then let me know.
Not bad.
How about that?
What I love about what she did is, and by the way, here's a little key note, because we always ask, what do I say? The easiest thing to start off is just that idea of all I know is, it's just, whenever you freak out, just really just talk about what it is that you actually know. And the easiest thing to start off is with your story.
Right? And then when you're ready to go, say, hey, you want to be Facebook friends? And hand them your phone and have them find your name. You put all the pressure on them, and they're not going to say, oh, God, no. They're going to be embarrassed enough to be like, of course, because humans are kind deep down inside. And then you have a new friend on Facebook, too, who will follow you. That was great. And so my wife's cousin does sign for Broadway. She stands on stage while Wicked's playing, and she signs and they do it. She does one show a week, and it rotates.
Don't you love how when somebody starts talking about someone that knows sign, they just...
I try to sign, and I'm like, what am I doing?
I was very proud of myself. I kept my hands in my lap.
I know, and I may have just totally offended the entire community by saying some bad word with my hands and not know it.
No. And Jeremy, I like what you said last week about putting your picture on the back of your phone. I haven't done that yet, but I love that idea.
Sneak it everywhere. People see it, and people will ask. And I have a button this big that I made at Zazzle.com, and I put it on my bag, and I sit it next to me on the train. And now I've been taking the train for 7 years. I still have people stop and look and go, "Oh my gosh, how'd you do that?" And, hey, if twice a month I meet a new friend on the train of somewhere I've been going for 7 years, I mean, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have met them if I didn't have a big bat signal saying, hey, what's up? So, always just think outside the box and get comfortable with it too. It's in the beginning, for me, it wasn't comfortable, but I knew I had to do it. So that was cool. So tonight we're going to go over some fun things for you guys. It's how to start a client. And the first thing we're going to go over a quick review of the health assessment. And JC, you're going to take that over, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get rolling on that, and then we'll feed into the rest of the program.
So it would be great if you can. If not, do it at another time. But it'd be great if you took your health assessment out, just to have it in front of you. Now, by this time, I'm looking around. I know all of you know what a health assessment is, but I just want you to know that I go over this with some of the leaders because we can never get to a point where we're perfect at this. So I just want you to kind of look at the health assessment because I'm just going to do a review. We're not going to learn the health assessment here. But just if you look at the health assessment, the first thing we always do is put somebody's name down, right? Because sometimes you don't have time to do a full health assessment, and sometimes you don't even have the piece of paper, by the way. But the health assessment is this document that whether you're going to sit down with someone and fill it out or fill it out later, it really represents a conversation piece. And there's a flow to it. And the magic in everything that we do is in the health assessment and the flow. So I just want you to write down, you can write it on the health assessment if you want, but basically what we're doing with the health assessment is we're finding out what it is that the person wants, right? So the first word I want you to write down, write a sequence of words. You can write it on the health assessment or on a blank piece of paper. But the first thing we're doing is we're finding out what. What is it that you want, or how can I help you, right? So if you look at the health assessment, that comes in the form of saying, what's your current reality? What are some of the health challenges that you want to work on? What's your current reality in health and what would you like to accomplish? Now, just as a side note, if you meet somebody and you're talking about cars, not a good time to start a health assessment, right? A health assessment begins after somebody in some way, shape, or form has a conversation with you that unveils that they want to get healthy. The only time you ever do a health assessment on somebody that doesn't say that is a practice health assessment on a family member. But I spoke to somebody today, and they did a whole bunch of health assessments on people, and they didn't sign anyone up. And I dug deeper, and I did a little systems check, and what I unveiled is that she had put up a post and got a lot of attention, but it wasn't about her weight loss journey. She put up a post that was about divorce, and it was a powerful post, and everybody said, oh my God, and she set up phone calls with all these people and did health assessments on them. And the reason why they didn't sign up is that that's not what they were interested in. So I taught her a valuable lesson in that, and I think Bernice, we talked a little bit about this today. I said, the next step after someone says hi or gives you a congratulations is in some way, shape, or form to explain your story of health transformation. And if they then say, what program did you do? You answer the question with a question by saying, well, tell me what your reality is. That's where the health assessment begins. So very, very key. Health assessments are assessments of health. If you're talking to somebody about technology, not a good time to start that. So that's, if you're doing a lot of health assessments and not having people sign up, one of the reasons is that they're kind of like wondering why we're doing it, So, but it's a conversation piece that finds out what, so what do you want? And they tell you, I want to lose weight. So the second piece of the health assessment is we're trying to find out why. The reason why we ask why is because the why is kind of giving you some background noise about the emotional component of it. I feel disgusting, or I have to get ready for a wedding, or my doctor told me this. So the why is a very crucial part. Now, the next part of it in the health assessment is why not? or what's missing. You know, when somebody says what they want and why, and then you say, well, have you ever tried to lose weight before? Or when's the last time you were that weight and what's happened since then? It's the first time they start to unveil the struggle, right? And when somebody unveils the struggle, now something's happening in your mind and you're starting to say, I think I know why they'll like this program, but it's not time yet. You don't jump on their head. But is everybody following me so far? Once you know what they want, everybody wants the same things. You want to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. And you ask why, it's important. Now it moves from the brain to the heart, which is not a diet mentality. And then the third part is what's missing? What do you struggle with? So once they unveil that, you almost already know what they're going to like about it. But the next step is to relate to them. And that's when you say, well, I can relate to that because I myself, you know, was like this. I lost the weight. And blah, blah, blah. So you'll always notice that's the time where you relate. So you want to be able to share your story. And I think everybody kind of here is a little bit in the know of that. And if, by the way, when Jeremy and I are going through these things, if you don't know something or you don't feel comfortable, then you raise your hand, identify. You can even do it here and then make sure that you get with your business coach or your mentorship team, or even maybe we'll shelf it for another time in this group. So what, why, what's missing, and now I relate. And now the next part is we want to go into the background and find out what else is going on, which is the first time we talk about lifestyle, right? Now, most people in diets never address why they eat pizza, why they do these things. All they do is try to lose weight, and the reason why they always gain it back is they don't address the fact that they're going through divorce, or they're a workaholic, or they're financially stressed. Now, we ask water intake, we ask exercise, we ask stress, and we ask sleep. When you ask those 4 questions quickly, you're going to unveil why they're eating and what healthy habits that they need to work on because they have bad habits. And also, by the way, side note, when you get to stress, very, very often you're going to find out about financial stress, right? Now, if I know about financial stress, I already know that at the end when it's time to offer them the program, I already know that there's financial stress and I'm already thinking, hey, this person needs to pay it forward and potentially make some money. So anyway, I'm not saying that yet. So the key is, here we are. I'm almost done because this is a review. I know what they want. I know why it's in the heart. And I know why they don't have it, what they struggle with, why the other programs didn't work. I related to them. I know about their habits and what needs to be worked on. And now I have the opportunity to say this. Here's why I think you're going to like this program, or here's why I think this program is going to work for you. If you're not doing that in the health assessment, that's a big reason why they're not moving. Now, if you don't have a stack of health assessments like that, that's why you're not senior coach or ED yet. Because the truth of the matter is that people are ready when they're ready, and you can do 1 million health assessments, but only the people that are ready are going to do it. We can't persuade people to do it. So side note, do more health assessments and you will be very successful at this. And obviously that comes from relationships. When I make the connection as to why I think the program will work, I'm going to go over not just the diet. I'm going to connect it to the 4 components. Now that's really crucial because now you're building value in the program. And that's why people don't have problems with the price. Because think about what we're giving someone. They're paying for the 5-in-1 program, right? You're free, component number 2. They don't pay for a full service guide and health coach. They also get a full transformational education and access to the most amazing community in the world. So if you think about that $392, they're paying for 1 component. Are you making sure that they understand the value of the 4 components? Because that's why I never have trouble having people. People might struggle with money, but they see the value. So that's a real key point. And then the last thing I would say about that is at the end, how do you close it? You know, and I don't want to close like, you know, a way of getting them on program. They're either going to go or they're not. But I always look at them and I say this at the end of a health assessment. And this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen happen, is I say, look, this program, it looks great for you. I might review a couple of things. You know, I'm really excited about the fact that we'll be able to fix this with that. And what do you think? Are you ready to get started? I actually offer it to them right now. Now, if they say yes, Easy, right? Sign them up. If they say no, it's not a no, it's a not now, and I'm going to do follow-up. Then we move into follow-up. But here's my last statement that I say to them before I wait for the yes or no. I say, so what do you think? Are you ready to get started? Because if you're ready, you and I are going to do this together, and we're going to knock it out of the park. That right there is what they've never heard before. They've gone to meetings, they've done things on the internet, but they've never had somebody say, like a sponsor in AA, we're going to do this together. So that's a very, very key part of it. That's all I got for that, Jeremy. And I think we're going to move on to something else. But are we going to have time to ask questions? Probably not, right?
Yeah. The next section won't take too long to go over. We'll have some minutes at the end. But the health assessment is such a powerful tool, and letting the people know that you're not alone in doing this together is just so massive and awakening to folks.
So and by the way, side note, that's why you want to do health assessments. Now, I see some of you have been coaches for long enough, and sometimes when we've gone through the first 2-3 months, we kind of feel compelled to do them on our own, like we're supposed to. If you don't feel comfortable with a health assessment, open yourself back up to training and mentoring, and do one with your spouse or your friend with your health coach. Because if you hear me or Jeremy do a health assessment on someone and you're listening, you're going to hear it happen in real time, and that's where the lessons get transferred. So go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's such an amazing tool. So now, of course, naturally the person's ready to go. They're good to go. You signed them up. They're on program. So what are we going to do? We're going to send them their welcome email. If you guys don't have the welcome email, let me know, and I'll send you a copy of it. The company also sends a welcome email when they order their kit. And then what we do is we put them into the texting campaign days, from the order of their kit to day 8, and then there's a week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5 follow-ups. Do you guys all know about the text campaign? I'm going to also post a link to the text campaign that gives all the verbiage. So go ahead.
Raise your hand if you don't know about the text campaign, just to make sure everybody knows about it. And I'm going to ask a totally transparent question right now. And now remember, I've been around for a long time. How many people religiously use the text campaign? Does anybody sometimes use it? And don't worry, because most people don't, the truth is. Does anybody kind of modify it to their liking? Has anyone ever said, I'm just going to send the video, or I'm just going to do this, or I don't like to send this one on this night? Anybody? Okay, so obviously there's probably a couple of you. I just want to bring one thing up about the text campaign. It was created by the most successful coaches in the company, not money-wise, the ones that have helped the most people. Trust in that system and realize that whether somebody reads it all or not, it's all done for a reason.
And I fully transparent here. I started using it about 5 months ago. I hadn't used it up until then. Started using it 5 months ago. It is amazing the difference it makes. It's huge. Now, your client signs up right away. There's a text that you could send them that says, hey, welcome aboard. That all the verbiage will be there and laid out. It's perfect. Doesn't need to be touched. And it's so easy to send that. And then, how good does a client feel when they're like, ooh, my coach is already talking to me. This is so wonderful. And then there's reminders in there too, because you may forget to tell the client day 1, I'll be calling you for 2 minutes at nighttime. That's in the text, right? So they know to expect that at nighttime. Hey, my coach is going to call. I can't wait to talk to them, So there's little reminders, little drops in there. The Optavia guide is sent before their kit arrives so that they can start looking through that. There's pages that are denoted in there so that they can start looking at certain pages. So it's all laid out for you. It's doing a lot of your work for you. The client has it. You could read it. You could go over it with them quickly, right? And then how great is it just to say to that client when you're on that night call, hey, you got my text this morning, right? Oh, yeah, day 4, feeling great. And there's always there's a little video in there, 40-second video. The first couple of times I used it, they said, I haven't got a chance to watch your video yet. I said, well, when you have 40 free seconds, watch it. Oh, it's only 40 seconds? Great. And they really get into it and they love it. And then as you progress through the text campaign, there's a week 2 follow-up. By day 8, folks are engaged or they're not engaged. We've all had those clients. So they're in or they're out. Week 2, week 3, week 4 follow-up. So there's all the information's in there. I will post the link to that when I post the link to tonight's video. Any questions on that, please don't hesitate to ask about it. It's a very, very simple but very, very strong tool to use. It doesn't replace getting on the phone, picking up the phone, and talking to your client, okay? Because if you're just a texting coach, you may find that there's going to be some struggles, right? Because you might text something that you think is glorious, and they may read it and take it completely the wrong way because there's no voice inflection or anything when you're reading a text message, right? You ever get one of those texts where you're like, why'd they say that? And meanwhile, they meant it in such a loving way, but they didn't hear your voice come through. So the text campaign is crucial. I'll post that link for it. And any questions that you've all used, that you all know about it, it's okay if you don't, because for a long, long time, I did not. And I've been around for a touch. So another wonderful tool like the health assessment once you get a client going. And then once you're flowing with a text campaign, your client's signed up, you got them going with that, there's another step that we're going to take, JC.
Yeah, and I want to say one more thing about the text campaign that sometimes we don't think about. Remember something, that most of our coaches, you guys, started off as what? Clients. So one of the reasons you became a coach is, yes, you started getting attention and you wanted to help others, whether it was in your heart or you wanted to make money. It's okay to start the way you want. But another reason you became a coach is that you saw your coach taking care of you and you said, I can do that. So how cool is it when that person starts engaging and says, like, how do you know what to send me all the time? And you go, we all do it the same way. And it's this simple system. And then another thing on that is, if you do it exactly the way that the simple system starts, and just have trust and faith that the people above that have helped hundreds of thousands of people, they know what they're doing. That's the duplicatable system. And when you sign up a health coach and you plug them into this, they're either going to do it or they're not, but they're going to know exactly what to do. And remember, what the text campaign is doing is guiding your clients to become integrated clients. And an integrated client is one that's not just on a diet. They're learning and they're getting tapped in, which is what I'll talk about in a second, to the system where they're talking to you, they're on program, they're in the community, and they're learning from the book. All 4 components. That's an integrated client. So the text campaign is a goof-proof way of doing it. And to be honest with you, if you actually read those texts and you go along with your client, which I'm doing right now because my girlfriend Mika just became a coach, and I'm relearning it all, you're going to become rock solid in that first month, as you know. So the last piece that we want to go over, we just got a couple minutes, it's just this whole idea of, like, look where we're at right now. We understand a little bit more about that communication piece. We've signed them up as on the program, and we started this text campaign. It really is that simple. Outside of that, you're just communicating with them. Side note, I like to send voice messages to my clients because I find that a lot of clients don't have time to get on the phone with me. So what I'll do is, instead of texting them, I'll push the voice command and I'll say, hey, Julie, it's JC, just checking in, thinking about you. I'm excited. It's day 2. Did you watch the video? Call me as soon as possible. Totally different experience when they hear that. So just an idea that you can do it. Sometimes I'll even send videos. So the next step with your client in this integration process, one of those components is support. So we want to make sure they're tapped in and connected to your support team, but also the community. So real quick, when I get a new client signed up, one of the first things that I want to do, and you see this happen all the time, is we want to tap them in to Migrate Potential. Or unless, your team had their own Facebook page for client community, want to tap them into Migrate Potential, put up a picture there and blow up their spot. It's the first time they go, oh my God, there's 7,000 people in there. I'm not alone. They scroll through, they see the stories, they find out about recipes, boom, total shift. And you've just introduced them for the first time to one of the components, community. And what's that post? What's the banner say at the top of Migrate Potential? Thursday nights better together. Everything they need to know is right in there. That's a powerful thing. And I'll tell you something, we like to play the hero. You can't build a business as a hero in this. So the most important thing you need to do is give them access to the community. That's where they're going to learn most of their stuff, because very often they don't resonate with you as much as you'd like them to, but they'll see a story in there and they'll start to talk to people. I would recommend that all clients talk to other clients in that environment. And then the only other piece is, how do we take that? Because remember, you're still in training, all of you. I'm still in training. So how do we take that client and tap them into this team coaching or team support thing? Very important, because, I mean, I've been working with Jeremy forever. What if Jeremy's client, A, is struggling, right? And Jeremy doesn't know how to overcome a struggle. That's called a mentor call. He's going to say, you know what? My coach has helped so many people. Let me get you on the phone with him. He's got a great knack of helping people break through. That's a mentor call. What if on day 7, Jeremy's client has just kicked butt, lost 7 pounds, but Jeremy's new and he doesn't understand how to do a celebration call, and he also doesn't understand how to start layering that idea that one day they might want to help other people. That's called a celebration call, or I think some people call it a tips call now, some of them. But either way, on day 7, everybody should be celebrating their client with their coach. It's such an easy thing to do. Jeremy always says, I just want to brag on you. I want to introduce you to my coach. He loves meeting people, which is true. And then if Jeremy's in training and I'm transferring skills to him, Jeremy's going to hear me say some things that are like early stage dripping this idea of coaching. Let me give you an idea. What if I said to them, so how do you feel? And they go, amazing, I lost 7 pounds. And I said, no, but how do you feel? And I say, how's your energy? How's your sleep? How's your mental clarity? And they go, you know what? It's much better. And then I say to them, I go, why do you think that is? I make the first connection that there's nutrition involved in this, right? And they start, so this is how they start to learn some things. And then I go, how's your support system at home? You know, who else is involved in this? Who's being impacted by you being on program? Sometimes they say it sucks, right? Nobody's supportive. They're all offering me donuts. And I'll say, don't worry, we're going to get them healthy one day too. You see what I just did, right? And then the other thing I'll say, if they say, oh, wonderful, everybody's supportive, and I say, has anybody like commented on what you're eating, or has anybody like noticed? And they go, everybody knows. And I go, well, you're gonna be surprised how many people we help together. So I'm not telling people they're gonna be a coach, but I do drip that idea. So just as a follow-up here, I just want you to recognize what we just went through in these 30 minutes here. The health assessment really is like this gift you're giving them. You're opening the door. That's the most special, magical moment. You know, if I would not be here if I never had a conversation with someone about this program. So I want you to think about, when you start doing health assessments, I want you to realize in that moment, there's magic going on there. You don't know what's about to happen to that person. When a human being gets in motion, it's unbelievable what could happen. And then the next phase is they start their journey. We got to make sure we start them off the right way, just like Jeremy said. The text campaign ensures that they are on their way to become integrated. And then that last piece is the support. And that's when we, I don't know what our next class is going to be at, but that's when we introduce them to our support team, which is training for us as well. Jeremy, anything else?
No, that wraps it up pretty nicely. You know, just like we said last week, you know, lead with your heart and have fun. If you could do those two things, you'll be wildly successful, and people will gravitate towards you like no tomorrow. Lead with that heart and have fun doing this. This is a blast. You know, I every now and again I'll accidentally say work, but work doesn't go with health coaching. Lead with that heart and have fun, and you guys will just smile and smile and smile. And that was wonderful. Thank you, JC.
I'll say one last thing, because I saw it happen twice today. A lot of us have this disease called coachitis, right? Sometimes when you're talking to someone, you forget that you're just a human being that just decided, like Bernice said, to pay it forward. And sometimes you start to pretend like you're a coach and you get all coachy on people, right? And I notice it because I'll usually do the first 2 or 3 health assessments with someone, and then I'll listen to them do it. And they start to get all technical. And I'm like, who is this person that's talking to? Because that's not who I know. And they'll be like, oh, the program's fantastic, and the biomolecular structure of the protein, and in the 5 and 1, and I'm just like, what happened to this lesson of all I know is I ate 5 of these and 1 of these, and look what happened? Because guys, people are not hiring you like you're a nutritionist. People love the idea that you are actually engaged in this program, you're following it, you're practicing what you preach, and you're just sharing with them as if you were not getting paid and you're just a friend, what you know. So try not to get all coachy. If you listen to me do a health assessment, I don't come off like I know everything. I just say like, look, I mean, like, I'll stand up on a Zoom and turn around. I'll be like, it works. You know what I mean? Like, what I love about it is it's so simple and goof-proof, and I just do this and I do that, and you are going to love it. I don't get all technical because people are freaked out by that stuff. And they also recognize all of a sudden what just happened to Julie. Julie was my friend, and I just noticed that she was losing weight, and I got excited, and now all of a sudden she turned into like a robot. You know what I mean? Guys, you're all just perfect and beautiful the way you are, and just use your personality. All people want to know is that you got their back in this. And if you know something because you've done it before, you're going to share it with them. Everything else will come down the line. Don't get coachy. That's my last advice.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to